Hello everyone, today I thought I'd do a video, save you having all those pictures pop up on your news feed saying Emyrs Engineering have done this and probably getting a bit bored of it now. We thought we'd do something completely different, have a video and show you a process. So, the process I'm going to talk to you about is knurling. Quite a simple process, but something that not many people have heard of. What is knurling? That's exactly what the customer asked when I mentioned it to him for this job. Basically, we start off with stock tubing and we're going to create a rib defect or a grip defect, should I say, that when you put it in your hand you've got something to grip. And here, like the Blue Peter, also a lot of kids know what Blue Peter is these days, but yeah, Blue Peter moment, here's one we did earlier. Can't really get it into focus very well. I tried videoing this a couple of times before this video and it just doesn't like to focus, so you're gonna have to sort of use your imagination and imagine that there's two helixes cut onto that to give lots of little ridges for a grip defect. So over to the business end of things. I've used the tail stock here. Any of you that are familiar with lathes, this is the tail stock. As a stop, I've been feeding the tubing from the other end of this lathe, and at the other end of here, the headstock, we've got a hole that accommodates the tube. So we've been feeding it in from there. This is our stop set to, if you look, should set there to 90, but what we need to do is just loosen that off a bit and set that up to 100. So just slacken this off if we can. There we are. Sorry about that. Trying to do everything one-handed here. Set this back up to 100. Tighten it up, and there we are. That is it in its set position. Keen-eyed viewers will have noticed on the right-hand side of the screen, left-hand side of the screen, should I say, there is a G-clamp. Now, any of you that have used lathes will be thinking, why is there a G-clamp on that lathe? It's actually just holding a piece of box tubing, a little bit of 30 by 30 box, as a stop for the carriage, so we can repeat this operation over and over reasonably quickly without limited setup, because we've got 20 of these to do altogether. So, tail stock there is now slightly in the way, so we're just going to slacken that off and ease it out the way. Now really, by rights, I should put my live centre in here now. Live centre is basically a cone which goes into this hole to support this from moving. But we've got a reasonably good size chuck, we've got reasonably good size tube walling. We should be alright. Well, I say we should be alright. I've done about 7 of them already, so it's pretty confident that we'll be alright. So I'm going to try and do this one-handed again. And you might find that the camera's rattling around a bit. We're going to just wind this in. There we are. So, we've wound the dial in. Now, a wise man once told me, or I should say my tutor once told me, I suppose he was a wise man. Well, then again, was he wise? He took on me to teach. If you put in a knurling on, make sure your first cut is your last cut, because trying to get it to center, if you take the cut off and trying to get these rollers to feed back into where they fed before, it's easier said than done. So we put the cut on there. Right then, let's just wind this lathe up a bit. We're going to force this into the steel. It doesn't actually cut the steel as such, it moves the metal. That's the way I was explained it when I was at college. It's not actually cutting the steel at all, it's moving the steel into a different formation. It is cutting it and it is moving it. It's doing a bit of both. So yeah, we're going to put a cut on. We're going to traverse down up against the piece of box section held by the old G-clamp that we're going to ignore and forget we've got this G-clamp here, because it's not the most professional looking of things, but it works, and that's the key. So we're going to put on a cut, try this down, and then we're going to stop. So for the time being, we're going to have a bit of noise and mayhem here. So there we are, that's the cut on. And then we're going to start to feed our I'm going to leave it at that for the time being, because I've just noticed how long this video's got and we've probably lost everybody. So no, that is the finished product there. That actually on the video is only showing one helix. We have actually got two crossing over there, because they are both engaged. And I can't quite get it to pick up, but you are actually getting, I think it's the light by the windows better for it. You are actually getting a multi cross-hatched effect. And yeah, and that is my job for, well, one of my jobs for today, is to repeat that process on 20 tubes, ready for pre-fabrication later on in the week. So thank you for listening. If you've got this far, you will have the thank you. If you haven't got this far, you're probably bored senseless and you won't get the thank you. But there we are. That's the end of the video.